going to be a pretty cool PVZ, our second match of the day, and our first player of this match. In the southwest position, the red Zerg player representing Invictus Gaming, it is Xigua. Getting some cheers already. His opponent, the blue Protoss player who has sent a probe out to build that low ground pylon from Planet Key Dynamics, it is Oz.
Okay, a probe going for a pylon down the ramp like this and then for a scout is almost always going to be a forge. Sometimes a nexus first, but since you scout this early, I feel like a forge is more likely. He's scouting cross map first. This is interesting already. Maybe trying to really confuse Xigua, or maybe hoping he's in there, in which case, because if he scouts Xigua first and Xigua sees the probe, you're never gonna go for a hatchery first against a probe scouting you early on. So maybe that's what Oz wants. And either way, I mean, if he scouts Xigua first here, Xigua doesn't go for hatch first, and if he doesn't, then he can go for hatch first at say like 2 minutes 15, and then he could possibly be cannon. We're gonna see the forge go down here in a second, I believe.
Oh, there it is.
A second probe going for a scout as well. Look at Oz's probe at the top side. He's going all the way around too, maybe trying to dodge some potential overload that could be there.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. So many mind games here and studies on where to send the probes to make sure he wouldn't be spotted if there was overloads on the way. But Xigua is playing it safe. Going for the hatch first. He's basically making sure he's not gonna get cannon rushed ever. And Oz, I feel like he's invested a lot into this already. Two probe scouting.
Yeah, that's a lot of potentially lost early income. Of course, you can't get that fast nexus, and now the probe sees the hatchery, but he knows like this hatchery is way later than it would be if it was a 15 hatch. The spawning pool is about to complete. There's not really any way you can accomplish anything with cannon, so he just starts up his nexus, and all he can say is, well, I tried, but there was no opening.
I tried so hard.
And he got so far.
In this case, yeah, Oz, upon arriving at this natural here, he saw the second hatch go down at 2:45. You know that that's the timing when a Zerg is going to go for hatch after a pull, so he's not even going to bother. And behind this, he started Nexus ASAP. He sees the links come down the ramp. This is the timing he's going to have to start a cannon. He's delaying that a little bit. Okay, he's getting the gateway. That means he's going to get a cannon behind this and then possibly have to wall off if the links were to rush his ramp. But you never expect to be able to do anything really here as a Zerg if you rush across the map. So we can see that Xigua, since he does not know that, he's not going to rush towards that wall. And yeah, we do see the additional hatchery here by Xigua on that third base. And no gas yet. You know, Xigua, I think it was overgrowth when he played against Arthur. He took that quick third base, and then he made mass queens because he knew aggression was going to come. Instead of getting speed, he made 6 queens and mass link speed without speed. So it could be something we see here if he thinks Oz is going to be aggressive.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you open up with a forge, right, when you don't do like Nexus into Gateway, you do have a much slower warp gate, so he knows it won't be quite as crazy. But also, Oz also doesn't know that there is that third hatchery, so he has to kind of play it close to the chest until he can get a little bit of scouting. And Xigua's Overlord, it's also important for it to spot when that gas is taken, if that second gas is taken, and, well, it's also... I think with no gas from Xigua, this is looking like a pretty greedy opening from him.
Yeah, and Oz saw early on that there was no gas, so he knows that there's no speed timing where he could be about to be attacked. So, I mean, he can play it really safe. He could have even skipped that Zealot if he wanted to. He got it. That could mean some aggression. That could mean he just wants to play it safe. We're going to have to wait and find out exactly to see what he goes for. He starts Warp Gate and a Stargate. This is not the fastest Stargate that you can get, but it was still fairly fast. We've seen Trap having quite a bit of success at the MLG, which he just won, but he almost always got the very quick Stargate and then an Oracle out early on to do some damage on the middle lines. And I think right now Oz, he pieced things together. He never confirmed that third base, but he knows it's probably there. And I think getting an Oracle quickly here could be very good to try and do some damage.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting. You're right. That Oracle had a lot of success. I like seeing it in PVZ because even if you can't kill many drones, you can always put on some pressure. And this Zealot's gonna run up to the third base, so he does confirm that it's here. Shouldn't really be able to kill much of anything. Gets a Zergling, and now the Queen is gonna fight it. But if he gets any drones here, that would actually be really, really nice for a Protoss player.
Yeah, and down there, Oz is trying to hide the Proban on the map. He's actually going for Pheanixes instead of an Oracle. I think since he started +1, he's gonna add like 3 gateways. And then go for Zealot plus Pheanix aggression, but he's been spotted. That little Chris Lorange probe here, as I would like to call it, because Huck always sneaks a probe across the map, has been seen. So if he was to make a pylon there, this would be spotted very easily and defended fairly easily, most likely as well, even though Xigua didn't start speed yet, I guess.
Yeah.
So that could still do something here. The 3 gateways did start. This is a very old school build. Usually behind this you get a Robo, then you get the Robo Bay, you take the Colossus, you take a 3rd base, you get your Blink, and Oz doesn't care about being spotted by that Overlords. Oh, I guess he doesn't see it.
No, it's just out of sight. These Zerglings will come now that the pylon's already been built. Now that he's committed some resources to this, he can kill the probe, he can kill the pylon, and
Warp Gate 10 seconds from finishing. I do think the pylon is gonna stay alive,
I
but
guess the Pheanix maybe? Oh, he's chasing the probe. Huh.
yeah, the Warp Gate should finish before this pylon is killed. So if we had even just 4 Zealots warped in here, +1 is well underway, 20 seconds away from finishing. He's getting the Mothership Core, the Robo as well. Very interesting build already here by Oz in this first game.
And the pylon will get killed by these Zerglings. Yet Burrow started up for a second, cancel it.
Oh wow.
Curious to see where he wants to bring this. Another pylon's warped in, just north of that 3rd base.
He warped back at home, even though I think he could have warped there. Oz maybe trying to basically fake that he does not actually want to go for this aggression, even though he really, really wants to right now, believe me.
Man, lets this pylon finish and picked off as well, and ends up in a weird spot because you're partially supply blocked as well. And yeah, that probe at the 3rd base really looks like he's going to take another Nexus. I don't think there's any room to do damage with this, even though he has +1.
And those 4 Pheanixes, they usually force a Zerg to go into Hydralisks. It's very difficult to deal with them without. And that means that Oz is anticipating this perfectly. He's getting the Robo Bay right now. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some Colossus play as quick as possible. Not necessarily with the fast thermal lens, but oh, hold on, he's trying to do some damage. How many probes? And drones have fallen. Xigua killed 2 probes so far that were on the map in this game, and 9 drones have been killed by this harassment, bringing Xigua down to 67 now drones against 51 probes for Oz. Ooh, the 3rd base wasn't walled off early on here.
No, it was not. And these Speedlings are going to come in, try to surround this Nexus and kill it off. The Zealot buying a lot of time as the Roaches show up. And I think if he can kill this Photon Cannon, since there's no gateway here to protect it, even with the Pheanix, this Nexus might take a little bit of punishment. He's got a lot more forces rallied across the map. He's just building Zerglings right now.
Yeah, the 4 gateways was supposed to really help in defending this, but Xigua, the critical mass to really... I think he's going to be able to take down that Nexus. Oz needs to cancel. This is going to die.
Oh, this has been a really rough loss for Oz. His
Wow.
pressure not really able to accomplish as much as he was hoping for. He's just now moving into the Colossus tech. He's adding on a few more gateways, just 3, and he's building Void Ray. So Void Ray Colossi we know is good, but off 2 bases, you're not going to be able to pump out too many of those units.
I wonder, does Oz all in from here, or does he think that since he had to cancel the Nexus and this is going to be delayed even more, he had to make those extra gateways just to make sure that he can get enough units to be able to take that 3rd base and spend his extra minerals. And by the way, Xigua starts to aspire. I wonder if he wants to play this old school Roach, Hidra, Corruptor, just because he's delayed that 3rd base so much that Oz is basically, he shouldn't be able to get that critical mass of Colossus, Blinkstalker, with which basically you can deal very easily with a Roach, Hydra, Corruptor composition. By the way, some Pheanixes are going to die.
Yeah, 2 Pheanix killed, not bad at all by Xigua. So Xigua's played a very solid game so far, and Oz, he's just going to try to retake this 3rd.
You think Corruptors? Yeah, Corruptors.
Huh.
Oh my god, this is going to be so hard to hold here for Oz. I mean, he does have the Void Ray, which is definitely a good counter to Corruptors, but with a mass of Hydralisks and the Corruptors possibly targeting on the Colossi. I mean, right now, well, the Colossus, we have a single one right now.
Yeah, this is a tough army composition to fight because you have just so many units, these cheap Zerglings with these Hydras, and those Corruptors are strong. And, you know, as respectable of a unit as the Void Ray may be, Corruptors in this number, with this number advantage, they shouldn't have too much trouble.
Man. Call them Sir Void Ray.
The Sir Void. He's going to kill these rocks, so there won't be quite as much of a choke point. I feel like he even wants to limit space. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like Xigua has more surface area to attack from now.
Oz knows. He knows this is coming. Xigua's getting in position here. It doesn't look like he wants to attack the 3rd base. He might go up the ramp with his big shock of unit and attack from the other side. He needs to make a lot of things in reinforcement because they get there faster as well. Xigua, does he wait until he's maxed out or does he go now? I feel like...
He doesn't have an Overseer. He doesn't know for sure about these hallucinations. He's going to run in. The Corruptors can using the corruption ability on the hallucination, then the Mothership Core. So the real Colossi have been allowed to attack so far. Both hallucinations are dead, and a really solid defense from Oz with these hallucinations.
Absolutely sick defense here. He hallucinated the Colossi in advance. He knew this was coming. One single Muta start. Mistake?
2 Mutas.
Oh no, he wants to transition, but he has no gas.
Quite enough
this
gas.
is so sad. He wants to transition into Mutas. He's like, you know what? You have enough Colossus and Void Ray to defend this, you're not gonna have enough mobility to deal with Mutas. You don't have Blink. It's pretty obvious by now. And you know what? Xigua was right, but the Twilight Council was made. Oz could start Blink here very, very soon. He's short on gas, but with that third base and the fifth and sixth gas he's added on, he should be able to get additional gas to start Blink to get maybe some more Pheanixes. I guess against Corruptors, he's better to go into Blink right now. Yeah, he's gonna see some of those Mutas. This is a big deal.
Yeah, you see the Mutas. It's gonna force out Pheanix, and there are still Mutalisks being made. Xigua is really trickling these out. I'm a little bit worried when you move this slow into Mutalisks. Oz has so much time to prepare for what's coming, and now that he has that third base set up, he can look to get a little aggressive. This big Hydralisk core, so that's quite scary.
Oz is moving out. He's moving out without a Mothership core. If he was to be caught on the map here, there would be no recall available. Oh, Xigua is gonna go for this round. He's coming in from behind. He's gonna try to flank with the reinforcement. It's now or never, Xigua.
Yeah, he's fighting off creep, but these Hydralisks are still quite strong. He's moving in. There's a slight army supply lead for Xigua, but these force fields have been really good so far. All the real Colossi still alive. And Oz, he's making it happen so far. The third base, though, being attacked by these three Mutalisks are quite scary. All the probes are going to run, but the counterattack moving in from Oz. And he does have a pylon here to help reinforce the Hydralisks. Not able to get on top of that just yet. Oz's army doesn't really look assailable at this point.
Yeah, I think Xigua needs to wait a little bit more, but some of these Hydras on the left-hand side are getting engaged.
Yeah, they just walk. They're actually move commanding through this army. Oz, I really like this position. As weird as it can be without the Mothership core, his army is so strong. Here comes the attack on the left side. The Corruptors are trying to focus down the Colossi. Stalkers are coming in from the right, but there's just too much on the ground for Oz. I don't even know if there, even without the Colossi, that he could fight this Hydralisk force. He's going to move in. More force field being placed. Guardian shield goes up, and there's just nothing here for Xigua Todd. +1 finishes, but that's not enough. GG.